Good day, my fellow South Africans. Today we're looking at grade 11, grade 12, 3 Euclidean geometry, and I will be working through this. I hope you guys are following and going to be able to track with me. This is an exercise that I gave as a class starter to my grade 12 group that I'm working with this year. So I hope you guys work with me and are able to follow through. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also like the videos. It actually helps me a lot. Also comment if I made a mistake. We are all prone to sometimes, just in the hurry of things, forget small important stuff. So this is Mnr Le Cordeur. Kom lekker deur, over and out. Okay. All right, so this is take two. Let me explain and let me see. I do apologize for my take two. Here we go. All right, so here, exercise 1, there's 18 marks available. So I'm going to read the following information. I would like you guys to follow and make notes as you feel fitting. In the diagram below, O is the center of the circle, KTUV. PKR is a tangent to the circle at K. All right, we can see that then we say OUV is equals to 48. So we have that. Okay, we can see that. OUV is equals to 48. Then we have KTU being equals to 120. All right, that's also indicated. Some important things that I would make notes of for myself, because that is the center of the circle. That means we have a radii there. Those are two equal radii. But I can also deduct from that is this is going to be 60 degrees. And why is that 60 degrees? Because it's opposite of this angle right there. And if that is 60, it means that this part here is 120. That I can also put into myself, because I have a tangent K there. That means this tan perpendicular to the radius there, right? I just think that maybe that will be in the way there. So I'm just going to put in for myself, there's a 90 degree there. On the other side, there's also a 90 degree. So if that is 90, that means that, what else can I deduce from this information? Okay, so the first question, calculate with the reason the sizes of the angle V. We can say V is equals to 6 degrees, and the reason there, it is opposite angles of a cyclic quad, and it would be nice if you can write down the cyclic quad there. The cyclic quad is V U T K. All right, we know that the opposite angles of the cyclic quad is supplementary. So it's 180 minus that 120. You can just put it down like that. Then they say KOU. Now KOU, K coming from there, OU is the angle at the center, and that angle will be twice the angle there. So that you can say 120 degrees. KU is equals to 120 because it's twice the angle at that point right there. All right, so it's 2 times 260, which equals to 120. And our reason here is going to be angle at center of circle is equals to 2 times the angle at the circumference subtended by the same arc at the circumference. Okay, please apologize for my handwriting. I'm trying to do this on a computer screen, and hope you guys would understand as follows. Okay. Now, U is this whole one right here, and I've sat with this. I have the answer, but I'm a little bit unsure about the reasoning. Now, my answer that I got is because this is 120, I say that angle is 30 there, and that means this angle is also equals to 30. But we have this angle also there being extended. Now, I see a kite figure here, so that means that the U we are referring to here is actually the whole angle here that I'm talking about. So it's actually TUV, and it is the 48 plus the 30 plus that U1 that it's currently unknown. But I've done some calculations and I got to the answer that if this is from the basics, no, and if you can give me a proper writing in of that reason, but currently I got to 108. Let's just see how I got to that. I say this angle is also equals to 30, so it's 30 plus 30, which equals to 60, and a 60 plus a 48 is equals to 108. Now I'm not going to include the reason there because I would like anyone to comment on the video, what is the proper reason for me to write there. All right, also thank you guys for tuning in and following with me, Mr. Le Cordeur, doing some Euclidean geometry. K1 is the angle right there. Now K1 is, if you look at K2 and K1 together, those are angles. So we're going to say that OK, no, OK is perpendicular to PR. Why do I say that? Because that is the tan of PR, no, perpendicular to the radius, which is OK. Okay. So if we can see here, but if we zoom in a little bit there, I'm struggling to zoom in on the screen, but that means this whole angle is 90, all right? And this angle right here, I'm going to do some erasing here. This angle we got to, this angle right here, that's 30, okay? But if we look at this right here, that's a tangent running right there, and then we have a triangle, so that we can use the tan chord theorem, but we know that this whole part is 90. So this is actually 70 equals to that angle right there. So it's 40 plus the 30. 48 plus the 38, which is going to be, so we can say that K1 is equals to 78. If I make a calculation error, please don't don't destroy me in the comments. Rather, just help me in rectifying my mistakes. We all make mistakes from time to time. All right, so there we have K1, and I say it's 90, no? Minus that, no, sorry, yeah, K1. And K2, because I said that is equals to 78, no? And this whole angle running from there up until that point, there's a 90 degrees there. So if I know that this part here is 78 degrees, then I would say this is actually 90 minus the 78 degrees, which equates to 12 degrees. Now my reason there, it will be, it's actually, that one here was tan chord theorem, no? Tan chord theorem, which states that the angle between a tangent and a chord is equal to the opposite angle in the triangle. And then this one will be radius OK or KO is perpendicular to tangent. And the tangent that we are referring to is actually PR. Alright, so that region just come down here, and the previous region was there. The what was that previous reason? The previous reason I think was yeah, tan chord. So how would we mark this? Normal marking of this will be It's one reason for the statement, one reason for the correct, please note, correct reasoning. And then here, so I will give myself 1 mark there because I need you guys in the comment section down below to write down what is the proper reasoning there. So they will get 2 marks for that one, and then 2 marks there, and a total of 8. But I would mark it out of 7 because we still looking for a reason, which I hope you guys can fill me out in the comment section down below. All right, so it's also that 120 angle to the center there. Moving on now to the next question there is where we have this. All right, once again, important in these stuff to read the information, make notes for yourself. In the diagram, O is the center. Okay, so there's the center, and then that is a radius. That's also another radii. Is the center of the circle heater, H-E-A-T-R, and AOF is parallel to EH. That's good, it's indicated, and F2 is equals to 78. Now, whenever you are given information like that and it's not on the sketch, please go put it into the sketch for yourself there. And then R1 is this one, is equals to 22 degrees. Okay. Now, why do they give that information? Because that information is useful in the sense that we can use that information to determine our first answer. So if you look at that here, we will see that because of this, I can now see that this is the exterior angle of the triangle. And what do I know about the exterior angle of a triangle? If we just change this shape a little bit, the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the, so that's the 78 plus the 22. So how would we write this down? We would just say angle O1 is equals to 78 degrees plus the 22. That is my statement, and that gets me to an angle of 100 degrees. And my reasoning there is the exterior angle of triangle is equals to the, you don't have to write out the whole reason, sum of 2 opposite interior angles. Okay. Don't have to, but you can learn there's abbreviated for all of these. Then H1 is the one right there. So if this is, what did we say? This one is 100 degrees. The total there is 100. So that one is going to be half of 100. So we would say H1 is equals to half of O1. That is my statement. So half of O1, half of 100 is equals to 50. Half of 100, that's equals to 50 degrees. And then our reason here is angle at center, we know is 2 times the angle at the circumference. All right, let's finish this up quickly. So T, they ask us to calculate T. So T would be this one. Once again there, if this is 50, please go write it in. That means it's going to be T is equals to 180 degrees minus the 50 degrees. And that gets me to 130 degrees. Your reason there will be opposite angles of cyclic quad. And the cyclic quad try to be is H-E-A-T-R. No, it's actually H-A-T-R, cyclic quad, opposite angles of a cyclic quad. H-E-T-R are supplementary, meaning up, they add up to 180. Then H2, we can calculate H2. Once again, go right in the answer that you work out. So this angle right here is equals to 130 degrees. Put it down in your sketch, 130 degrees, and then we're going to say A2. Okay, let's go see where's A2. So A2, okay.